Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Volkswagen Golf. This is the GTI 380 SE. Huge shout out to FOURR Volkswagen for providing this hot hatch for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this GTI is finished off in Moonstone Gray. MSRP is just over $41,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder paired to the 6-speed manual transmission. This pumps out 241 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the front wheels, propelling this 3,100-pound hatchback from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. It has a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 23 miles per gallon in the city, 34 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 103.6 inches. Its overall length is 168.8. It has a width of 70.4, a height of 57.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.7 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this model has LEDs, which, as you can tell, have a very small housing to them. And you'll notice too that the DRL actually works its way to the strip that runs through the front, where the Volkswagen badge is also the sensor for the distance pacing. And then there's parking sensors too, lots of cutouts in that lower section. And then the lines from the hood actually extend off of the inside of this headlight housing. So you'll notice it's almost a continuous strip, just blending it in very nicely. Now, as we work our way to the side, you'll notice this model has a gloss black set of wheels. There's also the red calipers. There's a red accent with the GTI badge just behind that, along with gloss black and the turn signal for the mirrors. Now, this does have a sunroof up top. However, the rear section is also blacked out to give that a continuous look. All of the window trim is finished off in black as well. And then there's great lines that run down the side, especially at the height of the door handle and in that lower section. And then in back, there's the body colored spoiler with the brake light and the wiper blade. There's LEDs for the taillights. There's also the backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the dual exhaust. Now the rear view camera, the backup camera, is actually hidden in the Volkswagen badge, and you can also flip it to use it as the handle to gain access to your cargo. Now in back, you have a good bit of space. There's also some storage underneath the floor where there's the spare tires. So you could use that for extra storage as well if you needed. You can also remove this cover and you can fold the back seats down to give yourself that much more interior space for this smaller vehicle. So for a hatchback, it is very practical for its size. Now, as we hop into the back now, we have a nice door panel. There's some matte black accents, your window, and the release there. And then take a look at these seats with the two-tone design and all of the red stitching to give it a cool look. Now at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's also storage pockets, there's vents in the middle, some auxiliaries down below, and a little bit of space. And at my height, I have about a ½ inch or so of headroom. So for its smaller size, I can fit comfortably and ride around town. Now in the middle, you have the armrest as well as some storage, and you can even fold down this middle section if you need to gain access into the back. This model also has ambient lighting. So you'll notice that is on the door panels there to give it a great interior vibe. And then there's some large windows, so it's pretty easy to see around. Now up front, there's the addition of the mirror adjustments, which are power folding and heated. And then the window controls and storage are just underneath that. Now you get a power operating driver's seat with memory seating adjustments. The passenger seat is power adjusting to recline and incline, and then you have to manually slide it forwards and backwards. Now we have the solid leather steering wheel with some perforations to it. And then we have the 6-speed manual transmission. So with my foot on the brake and the clutch, let's fire this up. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, in order to go through all this information, there's adjustments over on the right side. There's also tuning, heated steering wheel, and voice commands. But if I click on view, we can actually change what the diagram is showing. So now there's the navigation in full screen. You can also look at the distance pacing. There's miles per hour. You do have a little bit more of a sporty vibe with the information that you can see on the left and the right. And you can also change it too. So just depending on what you'd like to see on both sides, you can go through all of this, which is very nice and beneficial. You can also change what you'd like to see in the middle too. I can click on view one more time and go back into a little bit more of a traditional setting, but you can also do the same thing. You can go to the left and the right and control what you would like to see. So pretty configurable depending on the information that you need. Now on this left side, there's the cruise, distance pacing, and volume adjustments. There's also one air vent, the adjustments for the headlights and defrosters. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, we do have the home screen, so you can get through all of these icons here. There's also some split angles too, just depending on how you want to view this. So quite a lot to look at. There's also some adjustments in the lower section for your audio, as well as the temperature adjustments you can get into. And this even has heated seats too. Now there's more physical buttons underneath, so when you click on these, you can further get into this information, go through all of the climates. You have some driving assistance. There's also the parking, so that's a shortcut to pull up the camera as well as the parking sensors. And then there's a few different driving modes that you can get into as well. You also have wireless charging with some auxiliaries down below. And then to put this into reverse, you have to push down to the left and up, and you get that same angle that I just showed. And then we have the rest of the gears, of course. The e-brake is behind that. You get one cup holder in the middle that can disappear along with a 12 volt. A little bit of storage in the armrest as well as in the glove box. And then you have garage door buttons up top, and you have the sunshade and sunroof adjustments. Now you can also use the sunshade when the sunroof is open. So it is perforated, and then we can just open up the entire sunroof here, and you can even close this. So you can still get that open experience and just shade yourself from the sun. Really neat feature to see for this model. And then here's a look at visibility. You have some pretty large windows, so you can easily see over both shoulders. So setting off behind the wheel now for the Golf GTI. This is definitely a fun, hot hatch. Doesn't have quite as much horsepower as the R model, of course, so if you're looking for more power, you can go with that. But if you're wanting just kind of more of a basic, simple, hot hatch that has the manual transmission and has a lot of nice features, for 40 grand, you really can't go wrong with the Golf. Now, as far as the manual transmission goes, clutch pedal is super light, and the throws in the shifter here seems like it's a little bit of a long shifter, so not quite a short throw feeling, but it's still easy to shift nonetheless. And you have that notchy feedback, that way you know you are in the next gear. So this is a really easy manual to drive, especially if you have never driven a manual transmission. Maybe this is your first manual. It's a great option to go with, and even if it's your first car in general, not a lot of power, so you don't have to be intimidated by that. If you want more power, you can go with the Golf R, of course. So with a mild acceleration, we can get up to speed. It's pretty peppy for what it has to offer. Now, as far as its drive goes, I actually just finished reviewing the Golf R, so if you want to see that, take a look at that separate review video. This drives fairly similar, so I really don't have any complaints with it. I'm not around this platform that often, so this is kind of first impressions of it, but it seems to drive very nice. We have the Harman Kardon audio as well for this model, so it's pretty well equipped for this trim, but it's nice. Seats are very comfortable too. It's been quiet for the roads that I'm on here right now, and even in sport mode, it gets a little bit louder than Eco and Comfort, but it's not obnoxiously loud. This would be a fantastic daily driver just for its MPG, its refinements. This isn't an Audi, of course, but Audi has trickled into Volkswagen in the last couple years with nice refinements and how they drive. So it's a very nice vehicle that you can drive every day. And then when you want to, we can put it back into the sport mode and get a little bit more response out of that throttle. And in sport mode, second gear, here we go. Not a loud vehicle either, which is nice. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Golf GTI. I think it's a really nice interior and layout, and it feels upscale for its price. For 40 grand, you do have some plastic up top here, but that's going to be in the competition as well for the price point, so that's not too unusual to see. But other than that, it's a great looking interior, and it's a nice vehicle to drive. So I could see this being a fantastic daily driver. If you're not looking for a lot of power, you just want kind of a sporty look from the outside, you want something that's fuel efficient too, and very practical. this can be your only vehicle because you have a lot of space on the interior. For its smaller size, it definitely makes it a little bit more practical. And then you have the manual transmission here, which you can also go with the automatic if you're not a 3 pedals type of person. So you do have options, which is nice. And with this being a smaller vehicle, it's also very maneuverable too. So as we make a U-turn here, turning radius is pretty tight here, so we are easily able to do that. And then as we get back up to speed, it even shows you the gear over on the left side and if you should upshift or downshift depending on the throttle input that you have. So that's pretty neat too, especially if you've never driven a manual before. But super nice hot hatch for the price. That's going to wrap it up though for the 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Once again, a huge shout out to FOURR Volkswagen for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.